Welcome back to the Mojo YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the effects of technology. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? So recently, everybody's been experimenting with what is Chat GPT or what is it? Chat
Yeah, Chat GPT and just AI in
AI
general,
in general.
AI photos and stuff.
So like, there's a lot of new technologies getting rolled out right now. They're getting ready to unleash what is it, Web 3?
Yeah, Web
Well,
three.
I guess you kind of say it's out already, but it's just moving faster and faster. So what do you think about this new technology as a tool, or just technology in general? Like, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
Uh, Kind of like split in between the middle, but not like more so on the good side. Like I agree with like most of it. Probably like the AI stuff we probably got to watch out for is just for like school or learning wise, because like some people just kind of like blatantly cheating off of it instead of like using it as like a real tool, but they're just using it like, oh, just do my homework for me or write this paper for me instead of just using it as like a real tool to like research and do certain stuff for you. But other than that, for like the most part, I agree with it. Like especially like Web three, like crypto and stuff, because I just don't agree with like banks, like just a one central head person of owning all of these stuff. Like how we talk about something like it's like seven master people
Oh yeah, they
that
run the
owns a
whole
lot.
world.
Yeah, that runs the world basically. But so I agree with like the decentralized systems instead of like centralized systems where everybody runs it and everybody has to vote on it to saying like, oh yeah, that's valid. Especially that's basically like with crypto, where everybody votes on like a system, like on a certain piece of information, and say, oh yeah, that's valid. I have that on my computer, my computer, my computer. Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, that's transaction successful. So like I definitely agree with like the decentralized versions of technology that's coming. Um, I know they may be trying to shut that down, like the centralized banks and stuff are trying to like shut that down. But I'll say more so I agree with the technology coming that's coming, just because it's putting more of power into like actual people instead of like all of the rich. I'll say that owns like the basically 0.5% of people, like the rich, or what percentage they are, like 0.3, 0.5, like ultra rich.
Man, so technology as a whole, I think it was designed to like make life easier for people
Right.
and just make life and push humankind or mankind forward, like the wheel, fire and just things
Yeah.
like that, or just spears and stuff. Supposed to push mankind forward, and that's what allowed us to get to where we are now. But now technology is getting to a point where it's low key dangerous, and man's becoming close. We're becoming very godlike, like not God, but we're starting to have powers that are just people 100 years ago probably could have never imagined. Like the ability to, maybe not even 100 years, 200 years ago, like the ability to warm your house at an instant, boom. The ability to talk to people on the other side of the world instantly. The ability to be able to send messages across the world instantly. And I think when these technologies were invented, they were invented like good in mind. Like that was the purpose of them. Not no one had wicked intentions for them. But now, like with anything, I think people will find ways to try to use it to their advantage. So with whenever you roll out new technology, people at the bottom of the status structure usually suffer the most because they don't get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
People without computers or people in like super low end public schools, they don't have MacBooks and Chromes and all these different computers you need to learn how to use AI. And if you don't learn how to use it, it just sets you behind further in the system. So like people that don't know how to use code or people that don't know how to use Microsoft, even to the basic. Like now I'm not a Microsoft genius, but if you don't know how to use a computer right now, you're kind of screwed.
Right.
But if you know how to use a computer in 5, 10 years, you're gonna be really screwed because like AI is gonna replace a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
And so people with low level skills that you normally kind of like probably fast food workers, like that used to be a normal teenage job. It's gonna be on some people.
Yeah. They kind of already started that now, like with the Taco Bell,
Yep. And
McDonald's. I think they got one
there's
too.
another business. The stock their stock ticker went crazy on Friday. They write articles. I think it's
Okay.
Buzz or something like that. It's BuzzFeed or something. They write articles and they laid off like half of their company or whatever, and just had AI start writing the new articles, and their stock went crazy. So I just feel bad for the people at the bottom of the status structure. I feel like they're gonna suffer the most. And also, whenever new technology come out, it just brings new problems. It also brings new solutions, but it brings new problems, and I don't know if we're better as a whole for them or like not better. Like, cause like when say back in the day when you used to get bullied, all right, you go to school, you get bullied. You'll be in, this would be a shitty 6 hours.
Yeah.
But you're gonna go home, relax, boom, get away, reset. Now your bullies can follow you home. They can literally bully, they can text you, they can DM you, they can tweet you, they can bother you all day. There's no peace. It's like you can't get away. I think technology's allowed people to just, I feel like we're too connected sometimes.
No, yeah, I feel like we're definitely too connected, like especially like social media. But like besides social media, I think just technology, as a whole, I feel like is better for us as a like human race, basically, just because it just pushes us further, like further, basically, and can help us hopefully save this planet, basically, um, or get us to a new planet. But I just think for like the people that may be left behind, it's definitely like our job to like create more jobs, find new solutions for those people to bring them like up to our level, basically. Even if like the rich doesn't help, like I believe like the middle class, politicians, hopefully they can help us
Oh
bring.
man, don't tell me you believe in the government.
No,
Oh,
I
they
don't,
not
but it's
help.
just like
They not helping anybody.
somebody gotta like help bring the lower
Nobody's.
class back up to
What do
us.
they say? Nobody's coming to save you.
But I feel like they'll eventually have to if AI is like or robots just placing like the basic minimum wage jobs, like probably not a server just yet because robots still in like development, but just like fast food joints, just taking your orders or doing a little meals. Like the only thing they'll need is just a cook, but
Man,
they're gonna have to because they're still gonna disenfranchise a lot of people basically.
you know the one
Like they have to bring
motto:
them
the
together.
rich get richer and the poor get poorer. If that wasn't true, if they were coming to save people or bringing them with them, that wouldn't be a true motto.
I feel like if the rich gets richer, like it's still gonna like tear down society because like
Yes, we just talked about
the
last episode, society collapsing as a whole.
but I'm saying like the middle class they're basically like the backbone of like the economy basically. Like if you have no middle class and you just have the poor class,
I feel
lower
like the
class,
middle
and just the
class
rich
they
class.
gonna come along. Like, well, even you can see it now. The middle class is just becoming the low. Like the gap, the was it? The gap is spreading between the upper end and the lower end,
I
and
feel like, but
also
I'm saying I
the
feel
middle
like
end.
the more people from the middle end are going down to the lower end
They
because
are.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like there's going to be no middle class if they keep on going down to the lower end. It's just
So
high
like
class and low
there really
class.
is no. So the middle class was invented as a buffer between the lower end because it used to only be rich and poor, right?
Right.
And then if you got all these poor people together, I'm poor, you poor, our whole family poor, we gonna sit around like, you know what? We starving and shit. And they up here in this palace eating real good. You know what we gonna go do? We gonna go take their food. So and it just kept happening over and over. Even if you watch these old shows, you constantly see revolts and people, these poor class come to take the rich, put their heads on spikes and shit like that. And then they realize, like, you know what? We can't starve these people completely. We have to give them something. So what they started doing was just giving them the crumbs. So now it's the upper end or the wealthy. Then it's the middle class, which really isn't a thing. They're just bleeding. They're just letting some of the flow trickle down to them. Then it's the lower end. And so now there's like no unity. So usually the middle class and the poor will come together. Like, you know what? I'm struggling, you struggling. Let's go get them. But now it's like the middle class is, oh, I'm doing bad, but I ain't doing as bad as you. Like nobody
Yeah,
wants to
that's
be the
true.
lowest person on the totem pole. Even if you're in the middle, it's like, all right, I'm not the smartest, but I'm not the dumbest. You know how many people say
Right.
that because people are just becoming lazier and lazier. But the wealth gap is increasing. So now eventually we're gonna get to the point where it's like the middle class. But hopefully it's not too late because now
But that's what I'm saying. Like if the wealth gap is always increasing, like eventually the middle class is going to become the lower class. Like if
I
that
think
gap is
I
to
think
keep
it's there
increasing,
already. Like look at inflation. Like people don't even understand how money works. Like you put your money in the bank and you think it's growing with interest, but
not
interest
at all.
doesn't keep up with inflation. So you're constantly losing money. So the middle class, there honestly, I don't believe there is a middle class because $100,000 doesn't buy you like just if you $100,000 back in the day would support you and your family, but that shit can get gone very quick now. You
No,
got a
yeah,
car, you
very.
got two cars, you got a house, you got to pay for his books, clothes, kids constantly growing, flat tire here, insurance there,
Yeah,
health care, blah blah
that's
blah.
why I agree with like the part of technology today that's becoming like decentralized and putting the more power into actual people, into actual citizens, because it's not always about. It's just taking. I believe it's taking like the power out from like the rich. Like if you put your money on the ledger, basically, like banks can't touch that at all. It's not growing any interest. Like you have it on the ledger, basically, and like if you're dealing like with crypto, it's all like I said earlier, it's just all me, you. Oh yeah, we saw this transaction go down. We agree, it's approved. Not just a bank that can just take your money away, give you overdraft fees, and never refund you from overdraft fees for some
Yeah,
reason, for some odd reason, and stuff. And say you got $1 million in the bank, and you come get your $1 million. They don't have your $1 million. They just owe you $1 million. It's like they don't actually have your money
it's
in
sitting
that
in the
certain
bank.
bank. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's like that's why I feel like the more the decentralized part of technology, I agree. I'm 100% with that. Yeah, it's a little bad just because um, more like criminal activities can go around around there since it's very private and you don't have to like put your real identity in there. But I feel like that's with anything. It's always going to be something bad.
but I
I
just feel
just
like,
agree
and
with
I'm
it
not
most of
like
it.
anti-technology. Like, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. Like, don't I think technology is useful. I love my phone as much as anybody else loves theirs. But it's just the problems that it creates. At the same time, I think people need to, before we start rolling out these new godlike powers, we need to try to figure out solutions. But maybe you can't come up with solutions to problems you don't know exist yet. But
yeah.
at the same time,
But it's,
like, look at the NFT. Like, just a couple years, like the last 2 years, everybody was rolling out these NFTs. Everybody was like, oh, trying to get early pre-list and all that stuff, and now they're worthless. And looking like it's just, I feel like it just made it easier to pull the wool over people's eyes that aren't educated enough to actually see what's going on. Like, kind of the same as the Madoff thing. Like, it just made stuff like pump and dump so much easier. Like, look at how many people are losing money in the market that don't know it. Or it's the same as sports betting. Now, like, now that's legal here. There's some you can just bet on your phone. Boop boop. Download DraftKings, bet real quick. But people don't even know the difference between a single and a parlay on some
but it's
a
still up.
favorite or
Yeah,
underdog.
it's still up to people to do your own research. Like you're not a kid. Like you got to do your own research, bro. Like you can't just take a word from somebody else. Like if you trust that person, yeah, you take their word from it, but you still got to do your own research to learn more yourself as well, and to share the information back to the person you trust as well too. So it's like for stuff like that, I just feel like people have to do their own research.
Or
Like
just
they
look
just
at
think everybody is like a doctor with a PhD in this
yeah.
subject these days just because they put in their bio on Instagram and they got like more than 10,000 followers. I'm like, oh, this you must know what he's talking about. Like you can just buy those 10,000 followers. Like you wouldn't know.
It's like the blind leading the blind and the dumb
Yeah,
leading the dumb. But at the same time, look at, so there's a statistic or a stat out like, okay, this is the most connected generation in human history. Like nobody's ever been able to. Nobody. This is a generation that have never been more connected. But at the same time, this is the saddest mankind has ever been. Like people are sadder now than ever before. I think it's because we have social media stuff like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all that stuff. And people are constantly comparing their lives to other people's. Like, okay, I might be doing good. Okay, this is the best year I ever had. But you just 10x to my shit. Like, oh damn. Like I thought
oh
I had
yeah,
a good year, and
I
you
agree. Yeah,
and you somewhere looking at somebody that just 10x you. And now it's just people are constantly comparing their lives to other people, not understanding that Instagram or social media in general is just a highlight reel. Like nobody shows their bad days, their ugly pictures. Like no one does that. It's just my best versus your best.
no, yeah, I agree. I just feel like social media is not real. Like I feel like it was never intended to be that to me. Like when people first created it, I feel like they created it so people can engage, have conversation like Twitter. They can have conversation. I feel like more than Twitter, I feel like Instagram and TikTok is like a bigger problem than Twitter because I feel like Twitter is mainly just engaging with people and talking to people and like spreading ideas. But I feel like Instagram and TikTok are more like the highlights showing the good and the bad. When Instagram was just to show you like, oh yeah, what I'm doing today,
Yeah,
and show you what you're doing
I was
today.
telling to a girl yesterday. She was saying she needed to take a break. I had talked her into starting making content. She was saying she needed to take a break from making content because there's so much negativity, and she called, was it colorism,
Yeah,
colorism,
they only
and
like the light skinned
yeah,
people.
or like just in general. I had never even heard that term before.
Oh no, it's very
But I was saying, I was like, bro, I don't take social media serious. I know
yeah.
people only post what they want to. They only show you what they want to show you. But at the same time, there's people that don't understand that. There's young people that don't understand it. Like they're just coming up younger and younger, and 8 year olds, 7 year olds. With like, what do you need? Who do you need to connect with around the world?
Like I'm okay with them having like Instagram. You know, have Instagram in school and stuff and
I'm
all
talking about an
that.
8 year old. What does an 8 year old need an Instagram for? Who do you need to
What
talk
grade are
to?
you in? Eighth grade, like second or something like that.
Mm,
Second or third.
something like that. No,
You don't need an Instagram like that though. But I feel
because
like if
Carter 10, he 10 or 11. He's at Greenview. So like third, fourth,
third,
something like
fourth.
that.
But I had like Instagram probably like sixth,
Bro, I didn't get on social
seventh
media.
grade,
I
I
was
think.
like the last person to get on Facebook. I got on Facebook in like
I didn't even have
10th
Facebook.
grade, maybe
But
ninth grade.
I feel like it should like you're allowed on it. Like I feel like you can be able to use like when you're 12, 13. Like that's when I feel like you can like engage with your classmates. Like oh yeah, posting, you can do your fried pictures and all that. But even though that is kind of like a downfall, like it makes them depressed. Like starting off earlier, basically, because like when well, you said you didn't get yours till late, but like on Instagram, when I first had an Instagram, it was never like that. Like you're comparing your lives to other people. You're just taking a picture or something like just
Now it's
showing
like, oh, I
pictures.
didn't get my moment. This picture only got 50 likes.
Yeah,
Oh, this one only got 7
it was
likes.
never like that.
Sarah
Yeah,
got 92 likes.
it was just
Oh shit.
the whole purpose of it was just to show pictures like of you
And keep
of
up with your
like
friends.
yeah keep
Now,
up with you of then when I'm seeing you like when I'm at the school with you or if we're not at work or something like that because it was never like that how it is now like on how it shows all the likes and then you got stories and then you got the reels and it showed the 3,000
yeah.
250,000 watched 2,000 this 2,000 comments 2,000 likes like those is just like killers to the mind so it's just
And then people are constantly going to social media looking for like dopamine. Like you open up the app and you just first thing you do is look at the corner and see if you got a
right
message or how many likes you got or stuff like that. I put out a tweet the other day. Like I think people have forgotten social media was meant to be fun. It was meant to be fun and keep up with your friends and family instead of competing with your friends and family.
yeah that's what yeah like I'm barely on Instagram. I'm more on Twitter just for like the engagement of what's somebody else talking about. Like the engagement of Twitter, I feel like is fun. Like especially like if it's like a sporting event or something going around. And we're all talking about the same shit. Like oh that was a horrible ass call. And everybody else saying oh that's a horrible ass call. Yada yada. Or putting some memes up that's very funny or something like that. Like I feel like the engagement part of social media, like that's the part that's the whole really part of social media is supposed to be for just to engage with other people you may not see in real life like but it's never supposed to be intended to oh better big up somebody like oh you just bought a new car now I'm sad as fuck because we graduated together and you bought a
or
new car and
or
I'm
you
still
just, oh, she's
struggling
got her PhD, I'm still working on my bachelor's, or
yeah
such
like
or such and such just became CEO of this. Or
you
it's
gotta yeah
just
you gotta understand everybody's like working at the same level like I seen like a girl we went to school with she was hanging out with a celebrity the other day I'm like oh good for her not just oh damn, she moving on up in the world. Like you should be happy for people instead of just trying to compare your lives to like
get
everybody's moving at their own
envious.
pace.
Yeah,
Like
you shouldn't be envious.
moving
But
at your
it's
own
just,
pace.
I think technology in a general, like I feel like when they roll out these new tools, just not just social media or AI or crypto or blockchain technology. I feel like when they roll out these new tools, they should have to first they should have to put on some type of restrictions or something like to actually protect people from their own good. Because we're dopamine machines. Like we're constantly looking for more and more gratification. That's why we're this country's getting fatter and fatter. The world in general is getting fatter and
Right.
fatter. We're eating ourselves to death. People are getting sicker, but just we're just constantly looking for more and more. And like with any drug, the more okay, today only needed a little bit, but next time I need more. Next time I need more. Like look at porn addictions are more going up, gaming addictions going up, social media addictions going up. All these new addictions are just growing and growing at a rapid rate, and there's
Yeah.
nobody here to help you with it because the generation before us they didn't have these same vices to deal with.
Yeah.
And now we got them. It's like okay,
Basically like
roll it out.
yeah.
YouTube addiction, like, did you hear the story? And I try to not to even like talk about or even look at negative news, but a few people were talking about it a couple weeks ago. The kid that killed his mom because she took his game from him,
I didn't hear about
bro.
that.
She took his game from him, or she wouldn't buy him something. He got her gun, killed her, went on played the game, and then called the police afterwards.
Was there like a video of it? I think I've seen something
I
like
don't
that.
know. I just heard the story and then like this, a
Probably
tiny
not.
bit of research on it, not a ton.
Yeah, like that's crazy. Like I feel like all those three things like you just named, social media, gaming, and porn addiction, like they're all like kind of like designed to just keep you in the house. Like you really have nowhere to go, like no reason to go after. Like if you got gaming, that's gonna take up most of your day. Then
Boom.
you can go watch some porn.
That's
That's gonna
another
take up
that's
an
another
hour,
couple hours.
hour or two, and then You can just go on your phone, social media for the
Ooh.
end to
And then
top off
after
the
all that,
night.
you go eat yourself, get a
Yeah,
nice
DoorDash,
sugar coma.
bro. You can get DoorDash, so you literally you don't have to leave your house anymore.
I
So
feel
it's
like
like,
technology now. At first, it was a tool to like bring people together. Like that was the point of the iPhone. You know, 1,000 songs in your pocket. Boom, you get to hear all these different artists. Or FaceTime, you get to talk to people that you're not in the same place with, or Skype and stuff like that. Zoom, all these different technologies. Now I think technology is getting to the point where it's actually separating or disconnecting people. Like you can go a whole day without actually seeing a person.
no,
Like
yeah, it has disconnected people. I just feel like it should be like more regulations, like how you were saying, like they just roll out stuff without any regulations. Like that's what they just did with Chat GPT. Like they just rolled it out.
I feel like they just experimenting on it. They just
They just
roll out,
launched.
see
Yeah,
how it
it's just a
goes.
demo. They just launched it and then just let everybody use it. But I feel like if you had more regulations, like if you made them enter, like take a picture of their ID, so you have to be 18 or older to use this. Like if you have, I just feel like certain stuff like that, like easy stuff, like just yeah, when you make your account, we have to verify your ID. Like if you're making like it's the same like if you're making like a crypto account or something like that for Coinbase,
Bro,
like they have to take a picture of your ID first.
I've
Like
been meeting kids. It's like, oh yeah, I've never played like kids are like damn near grown kids, like 11 preteens,
right,
11, 12, 13. I know 13 is a teenager, but it's like I've never played a sport before. Like, you know, that's how we used to interact. Okay, we go outside and toss football with each other. We go play baseball,
right.
go swim, go to the pool, walk to the pool, swim. Now it's all right. I'm not athletic or in fuck it. I don't. The only way to get better is to actually go play the sports. But now you know what? I can just play 2K all day. I can
Yeah, I don't like that.
instead of
Like
trying to be LeBron or trying to
yeah,
become the next LeBron, I can just be LeBron. You know, do.
yeah, I'm okay like you playing games and stuff, but it's like you have to be doing other stuff like outside of just gaming. Like you can game like every now and then,
Or
like you
just look
game
at like
every
our
week.
porn. Like instead of going to actually talk to that pretty girl right there or the pretty woman right there, you just pull out and then pull up some pixels, boo, go to the
Yeah,
hub, and you think you good.
yeah. I mean, you kind of are, but it's like it's kind of like a. It's hard to argue this, but it's like a good side and bad side of porn.
I
Like for
you
like the
said
good,
porn?
yeah,
Okay.
like the good side of porn, it kind of like keeps most of the creeps off the street, like the horny rabbits and shit, like
I
them
think I
sex
made this
offenders.
I made this argument a while ago.
Yeah, I
I
feel
understand
like
what you're
yeah,
saying.
it kind of keep them off the street because it keep them like distracted, like they're satisfied
I think
instead of
that's
just
cool
out
right
trying.
now.
Yeah,
That's cool for like the people that are older right now. But I think so. It's a good thing to keep them you know, them people off the street. But at the same time, now it's gonna create more of them. We got men that have never talked to women in their life. Like
no, yeah,
we got boys now that started watching at 7, 8, 9, 10, and they're never gonna talk to women in real life.
yeah,
Like that kid that was in the back of the class, he might muster up the courage to ask a girl to homecoming or something one day. But now, shit, we good. You'll type in homecoming
yeah. No,
videos, and we straight.
no,
You already know what
it's
happened.
definitely like that's the only good side I see to porn. Like it kind of just keeps like some people that could or would like rape a girl or be a pedophile or something like that, like kind of just like satisfied and out the way. Like majority of them, even though there's still like a lot still out there and still doing
But
it.
I feel like now it was cool then, but now it's creating more of them.
Yeah,
Like it's gonna create
but
more
it's definitely
pedophiles and
like
more.
more like it's like a 90
Cause you
10
know it's
situation to
like
me.
the thing we're saying with the drugs. Like you got the itch only gets more and more
Yeah,
intense. Like
like
it's gonna get to the point where
gateway drug.
like
It's getting
okay,
gateway
the
drug
starter
basically.
porn does
Yeah,
now you need the rougher shit. Now you need the bondage, the hanger from here or this or that or the like more intense or the
yeah,
fake rape or actual real rape or kid porn. Like it just gets
yeah.
more and more intense.
Oh yeah,
So like
it's definitely like a 90-10. 90 bad, probably like a 95 bad.
I'm gonna go on
99. I'm gonna
technology
go.
or just
No,
porn in
just I
general.
was just
Okay.
talking about just porn. Probably
Oh
like a
yeah,
90, 98 bad.
I go like 95 5.
Too good. Like that's the only thing I say with porn. But it's like with technology, I feel like it's still good. It just needs regulations. Like I feel like that can create more jobs too. Just people that can regulate technologies. Whenever technology is launched, they can people should be able to experience it before it's launched, like demo it, and then if there's necessary regulations that can be recommended, those should be instilled in that technology, like platform or website. Just like going back to the chat GPT example, like make them create a profile and upload their ID and make sure they're 18 or older or 21 or
Yeah,
older.
like I just feel like people are
Just
becoming
add regulations
like
to it.
the technology is instilling a lot of skills that you need. People like people don't know how to talk no more. Like one dude to work at, well, okay, the one dude to work. We know who I'm talking about. You try to talk to him, it's awkward. be
Yeah.
looking like he glitching. I don't even try to talk to him anymore. But just in general, like communication skills are going down. Just like problem solving skills.
Right.
People don't even know how to use their brain anymore.
Yeah.
Like it
Like
was a simple problem the other day I was talking to somebody about, and he told me how he solved it, and I was like, bro, you did the absolute most to solve this problem. You could have just did this, this, and this, and
right.
then like boom.
That's what I feel. Yeah, I feel like AI is good for like researching and just like stuff like that people had to memorize like 20, 10, like 20, 40, 50 years ago. Like we don't need to memorize anything, but we need to like actually do problem solving to make our brains work. Because that's like actual learning, like
And I feel
learning
like
how
people
to
need
think
people.
through
Like back in
critical
the
thinking.
day, if we were in a math class and I ain't know the answer, you ain't know the answer, we had to talk to, so we had to find somebody, convince them to let us see their homework and give us
Yeah,
the answer. Now it's just like chat GPT, what's the answer to this? All right, done.
that's yeah.
But it's
Like I
gonna be
don't
a problem where that chat GPT can't solve for you, and
like. I
you're
feel
not
like
gonna know how to get
yeah.
the
I
answer.
definitely should be. I feel like it should be a more advanced researching tool, like with the AI, but not like a tool to do the work for you. Like advanced research to help you critical think so you can solve the problem, but not just do the work for you. Like I feel like critical thinking is like their your main source for like learning, basically. Like
Just like the other day, it was yesterday. We were at the gym, right?
yeah,
And we were lifting, and we looked. We taking a break in between our set. And we look, and we counted 8 people on their phone. One, two, three, four.
yeah,
Boom. It
yeah.
was like y'all at the gym. I feel like people go to the gym just to get the picture now. So yeah, putting in
No,
work
yeah, it's
on some
definitely a trend now. Like TikTok,
grinding.
it's called like gym talk on TikTok. It's kind of
Man,
like a trend now, where people just go to the gym or become like gym influencers now. Like I was thinking about this the other day. Like it's definitely not a bad thing. I kind of like it because it's like it's promoting the gym. Like it's getting more people in the gym. Yes, they are annoying, like idiots and all that, like that, and like probably self-absorbed. But it's like you're kind of like just promoting people to get more in the gym. Like I can't be mad at that. Like you're promoting like a healthy
but are you
lifestyle.
going there actually? It's the difference between being in the gym and being in the gym. Like if
No,
you're
they not
just
going
there
there to
taking
get.
pic, like
They
bro,
yeah, they going to
we looking
flex,
there,
hit
we
the
looking
rich
around at
flex
people
and
that's
all that.
just taking pictures, and the girl on the treadmill scrolling. Like, bro, you're not getting in any better shape.
Yeah,
Like you
I'm just.
walking on this treadmill scrolling is
I
not
just think it's
saving your
the.
life.
I just think it's like a first necessary step. Like you're in the gym. Like how we talk. Like the first step. Like if you fat as hell and like you want to lose all your weight, like your first step, pack your bag at night, like for the gym.
That's true.
Next step,
But you gotta understand
get to
that
the
that's not the
gym.
last step. Well, as long as people
No, it's
understand that's
not
not
the
the
yeah, it's
last
not
step.
the last
Packing
step.
packing the bag is not the last step.
No, yeah, it's
Getting
definitely not the last steps. Like
in
people
there.
at the gym just scrolling their phone, like they can hit a couple sets. Like I hit the gym, hit a couple sets. As long as they continue to grow, then I have no problem with it. Like continue to grow with their workouts, learn more, get better at lifting and cardio, and just get getting like living a healthy lifestyle. I have no problem with it. But if you just been scrolling your phone for like the last 5 years and shit, and just lifting a
I
little
think you
bit,
can always tell the people that's at the gym that like actually like so we go in the morning. The people there at 5 a.m. look totally different than the people there at 5 p.m. Like
agreed.
there's less phones. There's obviously there's less people up at 5 a.m. But the
That's
people there at 5 a.m. they're on a mission. They trying
like
to get
you're
this
not
shit
waking up
done
at 5
to go to
a.m.
work.
That's what I'm saying. You're not waking up at 5 a.m. just to bullshit. Like when I wake up, I'm getting my work in. I'll talk to you a little bit, and I'm going to get the work in.
Like we was there Saturday evening. It was camera photo, mirror selfies,
Yeah, like
treadmill,
no,
phone
like
walking.
I'll talk once I'm done and I'm in the sauna. That's when I
Yeah,
can
that's
talk.
relax
That
time. We
kill
done.
yeah, it
Workout
kills
over.
time for me. But when I'm upstairs, I really want to talk and have headphones in, hit these sets so I can get in, get out. That's why I love like the 5 a.m. crew. Like there's not as many people there, but everybody there, they coming to work. Except for like one girl I told you who annoying. She
Oh, she just take up all the machines you need.
she just take up all the machines and she just talk to everybody, anybody. And if you're watching this, yes, I'm talking about you.
I don't think she watching
She
us
not
yet.
watching this.
She ain't watching us yet.
She not watching this yet. But
Not
when she
yet.
do, she will know. Yes, I'm talking to you. But yeah, that's what I have to say about technology. Like I definitely think it's a good thing, but I definitely agree with you 100%. It should be regulations. Like majority of
Like
technologies.
yeah, maybe yeah. Regulations will definitely help out a lot. Just more back testing instead of just rolling it out. Like you
Yeah,
just rolling it
demo.
out.
Like yeah, I feel
Then
like
longer demo. Like, okay,
get
give
a
it a year. Give
control.
it
Like
two.
that's what I'm saying. Like uh, like a technology policy department. Like have your testers, and I guess you have to work with the government because you make policies for it or something like that. But have like people that can demo it for like 2 to 3 months, learn their effects before and after, how they feel, how they don't feel, what the game like, or what the technology needs or don't needs, or what type of age group should be using it, which age group shouldn't be using it, before you just roll it out, then set your regulations like on the
Because I think
platform, basically.
I'm with you to the point where you were saying people it's up to people to do their own research, and I agree with that. But some people aren't that responsible for themselves. You know what I mean?
No, yeah,
Some
that's why,
people
yeah,
don't take responsibility for their own lives. They're constantly blaming other people.
yeah,
But instead of teaching, like you're saying, we don't need to memorize some of the same old shit that Chat GPT eliminated, right? So instead of teaching me this old shit in school, start teaching me this new stuff I'm gonna need to be able to deal with life in 2023. This
right,
how to use this new technology.
yeah,
What's the upside? What's the minus side? Why are so many people getting addicted? How did they come up with it? Where did they come up with it? How did they write the programs? Teach me all the stuff I need to know. Like just eliminate stuff I don't need to know now, and just update it to the stuff I need to know. If they did that, it'd be different. But if you just roll out this tool, because there I can't remember where the quote came from. We have primitive brains, but God like technology now, and it just doesn't work. Like we
right,
still have the same old brains that we had when we were hunting for fucking animals in the forest or the desert
exactly,
or wherever. But now we got these powers to fucking do whatever we want to do at the blink of an eye or the pull out of a phone.
yeah. That's why I definitely feel like school should be probably like hour long. Because I was just trying to think of what class was kind of like a waste of time.
Seminar.
Yeah, I was thinking seminar. But I'm like, you kind of need a break a little bit.
Like I don't need to hear about slavery every year. I know every
Like
February you don't need to tell me about slavery. I
I agree.
understand.
I agree with all like I agree with all the classes we took. So I'm like, you kind of still need that. Like, you need to know your history.
Bro, we did
Like,
not
bro,
need to
it's like you
learn.
need to know your history.
Bro,
You
we
need to
know.
know how to
Okay,
read and
the
write,
Boston
bro.
Tea Party, bro. I don't need to hear about the Boston Tea Party every year,
You didn't learn about it every
man.
year.
Every damn year they talked about
Like,
this
you learn about
damn,
like U.S. government some years.
and then we go talk about it in British literature. We're gonna talk about it a little bit
Yeah,
more.
I agree
I
with
said,
all that.
bro,
Like, I feel like you should know your history. You need to know how to read and write. You
yeah.
need to know like math so you can develop your brain for
And I
critical
feel like
thinking.
only certain I feel like they should start when they roll out schools. They should start giving you tests at the beginning. Try to see what your interests are, and maybe like every 3 years, see what your interests are, and try to
Right.
lean you. Like that's what they do in China. They try to lean you. If you want to be a farmer, we not about to teach you
That's
this
exactly
super
it.
high level arithmetic. You don't need this,
You don't.
and you
We gonna
might
give you the
need. I ain't
basic.
saying farming easy, but
Yeah,
I'm
but we
saying
gonna give you the basics of that
you
area
don't
that
need
you
to
really
know
don't need. Like,
nuclear science
yeah,
if you want to grow corn. Like we
you
don't need to
don't.
do that.
You might not need. I don't.
You
I'm
need to know
not.
how to look at the
Yeah,
weather. Be like, oh, yep, it's gonna
that's what
be
I'm
a rainy
saying.
day today.
Yeah, like that's why I feel like it definitely should be like an hour longer in school just to add like certain stuff like take
I don't even
like
think you need to make it longer. I think you need to eliminate the stuff we don't need no more.
I feel like you need though just to develop the brain. That's why I just say like
Like
add like extra or just do
everybody,
what China does
everybody
basically.
doesn't need 4 years of math. Like not everybody doesn't. If you're not
I
going to
think they do.
university, you don't need four
'Cause I
years of
feel like
math.
it develop it's critical thinking. It's
We
a
know people
consistent.
that walk that stage that still can't do math. I was talking to a girl that walked stage. She don't even know how many continents there are. I was talking to another girl when I got my associate. She was like, "What is some cool?" No, she was like, "They spelled my last name wrong.
She said
Who is
summa
some
cum
cool?"
laude.
I'm like, "You mean cum laude?"
Cum laude.
I was like, "Man, how are you walking the same stage as me?" It just didn't make sense. So I just
But
think they need
I
to.
just think it's more for the critical thinking aspect, bro. Like it develops your brain
But
for
with
more
they
critical
rolling out these
thinking.
new these AIs, people thinking less critically.
Yeah, I know.
We
I guess we
how
old.
much
I
homework
guess
did you do yourself?
for me,
Yeah, how much homework did you do yourself? I know I used to be also okay. I'm gonna do my math
it
homework.
depends on the
You do your
class.
reading homework. Somebody else do the science homework, and we just all boop, boop,
Physics, I
boop.
did all myself. Math, I did. We was like
Okay,
a
we did
whole
math
month
together.
ahead.
English, nobody did English.
Yeah.
Like French,
Nobody did the test
I did
either.
French for 6 7 years.
Spanish, I did
Got
Spanish.
all man.
I did
I
Spanish
got all the
homework.
way through college French and didn't still don't know French.
I know I did Spanish homework. It was just math, Spanish, and physics. Those are the only homeworks I did. Everything else,
I
well,
don't know, man. You got anything else on this on technology?
nah, that's pretty much it.
Well, I think technology. As to wrap this up, I think technology is like a double-edged sword. It can be
Yeah,
good. It can be used for good and evil.
right.
And I think it's our job and the person who's using the job to understand the both sides of it
Yeah,
and try to lean towards the good. I also feel like it should be more regulations on it. But before we end this video, please like and subscribe. Share with a friend if you found anything interesting or educational. And let us know. Leave comments. Let us know if you agree or disagree with us. We always forget to do this in the beginning of the videos. Sorry. But we are out. Thanks.
Thanks,
Oh,
guys.
one last thing. We also create a website, themojobrand.net. You can go there and find gear like this shirt or this hat and any other shirts and shorts you might see me with on
Uh,
Instagram.
the link will be down below.
Cool. Thanks. We're out.